So apparently, there's been another Blizzard moment. The next Activision Blizzard release scandal is here. You don't even need a battle pass for this one. It's only been less than a week since the Overwatch 2 announcement, and now we have a new release from Blizzard. Let's take a look at it.
After the massive Overwatch 2 scandal, where we all learned that not only the PvE that we were promised with the hero talent trees and the skill trees was canceled without them telling us, knowing for months and months and months after Overwatch 2's launch that it wasn't going to be coming. Activision Blizzard has found themselves in another kind of cash grab, choke out the community scandal, where they are actively shutting down modded Call of Duty projects that allow for players to safely play the original Call of Duties that we all loved so much from the golden era of gaming. They are actively sending out cease and desist to all of these mod makers whilst their servers are not safe enough for you to be able to go play, because you could have your IP stolen, malware put onto your computer, your original account swiped, and the list goes on and on and on.
See, like, that's what's crazy about it. Like, I don't even have a problem with Blizzard shutting down private servers. I don't think that's a big deal. But the reason why I don't think it's a big deal is because, like, with World of Warcraft, for example, Blizzard is providing that service. So, like, effectively the private server is just providing a free version of a service that they're charging for. But this is a lot different, because if the service effectively makes your account, like, vulnerable, or it can get your IP leaked or something like that, then that's really, really bad. And I don't think that you should expect anybody to... Like, that's dangerous. It's straight up dangerous. So, like, you shouldn't expect people to be okay with that. Now, like, is it okay to steal because of this? I mean, I don't know. Like, that's debatable. But I think that really what the real underpinning here is that if Blizzard wants to do this and doesn't want to have people shit on them for it, they need to make their servers for the old games, like, not a joke. They need to make it to where, like, the IPs don't get leaked. They need to make it to where you can't lose your fucking account. It's pretty simple.
Activision is so busy choking out and squeezing the lives out of all of their communities by repeatedly making second iterations of games that actually end up having less, like Overwatch 2 and like Warzone 2, which for the first 7 to 8 months had to be completely rebalanced to be more like the original in order for people to actually enjoy the game, like Sniper.
I think also keep in mind that, like, for mods, so this is information that a lot of people probably wouldn't know because they're not part of the Warcraft community, but Bellior Gaming, who's like a really popular Warcraft content creator, he has been for the last decade, he actually made a mod. This was back in Legion 2016, 2017 era, where he went through and he changed the way that all of the original quests were delivered. Like, he voice acted a lot of them and had, like, different ways of the information being shown on the screen to make it look a lot more like Final Fantasy. Because, like, you know, usually, like, reading a World of Warcraft quest is like, it's like reading a twit longer rather than reading a tweet. And it should be reading a tweet. So a lot of people don't read them, and Bellior's add-on was effectively created to solve that problem and make the make World of Warcraft, like, more easily accessible in terms of narrative. And Blizzard actually had to send him a cease and desist because that level of an expansion, or sorry, that level of an add-on would qualify as an expansion under Blizzard's legal team, or it could. Blizzard's legal team was concerned about this, so they actually had to shut down his add-on. And this happened like 5 years ago.
Not being able to one-shot, the plating mechanics, etc., etc. While other major game studios like Roblox and Fortnite with Epic Games are actually empowering their community to create on their platform, Activision does nothing but choke.
I will say, isn't Roblox in hot water for, like, utilizing child labor, unpaid child labor? I've heard this. I don't want to go and speak out of turn, but this is what I'm aware of. Yes. Okay, so Roblox is like, I mean, it's like every rose has its thorns. Like, I get it, but yeah, the Activision thing sucks too.
Can steal the life out of every single one of their titles for any passion project made by somebody who actually loves their product so that they can make more money. So let's take a look at what's actually going on. The Modern Warzone account summarizes the best, where they say Activision is on a cease and desist rampage against community-made Call of Duty projects, and it's probably not over yet.
Yeah.
X Labs is the only safe way.
They said they saw Nintendo and they said, wait a minute, we can do better than that. Nintendo's getting all the hate for DMCAing people and shutting people down. Well, we can't have somebody else stealing the news cycle.
To play older Call of Duty titles online, such as MW2, Ghost, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3 without putting yourself at risk. And now let's listen to what they have to say.
And you may ask yourself, why does this matter? They are using the intellectual property of Activision Blizzard. You have a fair point. This is totally legally within Activision's rights. The problem is that these old Call of Duty games, such as Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, we're not going to try to talk about Plutonium. Hopefully Plutonium stays safe. Plutonium is next on the chopping block if they go for somebody. But all of these old games that Call of Duty fans still love to go play, if you try to play them on console, you are putting yourself at an innate risk because their server security is non-existent. They've actually gone back and tried.
And that's the real problem. Is that, like, if the server security, like, let's look at, like, a different universe, for example. In a different universe where Blizzard server security was S tier and you were able to play the old games on Blizzard servers with no problems, I would think that Blizzard is completely within their rights to shut down competing versions of the game. Absolutely. But all they did really in shutting these down now is draw attention to the fact that their live servers are fucked up.
Tried to fix it in some of their previous titles, but the hackers that inhabit those servers have figured out ways to circumvent the new fixes. Basically, all of the old Call of Duty games are unplayable online unless you want to have a chance to have a hacker kick you from your game, completely reset your rank and everything you've ever actually unlocked in the game, as well as the ability to get your IP address, inject all types of different files into your PC if you're playing on PC, and it's just not safe.
So the Project X...
so, like, guess what? People aren't going to want to use that. And I do think, like, at a certain point, like, is it... Because, so this is my perspective with, like, pirating games. Is if the game is not being provided by the official publisher, I think that it's completely morally and ethically okay to pirate it. Because there's no theoretical sale that's lost. And I would argue that if in order to play the game, you have to put your actual, like, your IP address and, like, your computer files that could have your work on it, you have to put that at risk. I actually think that this would be okay. Like, I wouldn't hold it against anybody for pirating this. Because it's just like you're asking them, like, you know, are you willing to compromise your entire computer? Get DDoSed off of the internet completely. You have so many people that make a living off of the internet. I think that it's completely fair for somebody to say, fuck you, I'm not going to do this. Because, like, playing the video game puts them actively at risk. It's effectively unplayable. Yeah, it's malpractice. And, like, you could argue that, like, it's even, what do you call it? Negligence. I would argue that it's straight up fucking negligence to let that happen.
Labs as well as SM2 have both received cease and desist already from Activision Blizzard to stop what they're doing. But now the big concern is that Plutonium is next. So the bottom line is 3 of these big studios have gotten cease and desist from Activision Blizzard and now have had to close down operations entirely. So let me get this straight. You, as a company, Activision Blizzard, still charge full price for all of these games.
That's insane.
Can't keep your servers safe for your users, meaning they could get their IP stolen, they could get DDoS.
Yeah, I mean, that's pure negligence. There's no excuse for that.
They could lose their account, all their progress. You as a company...
It's more than that. It's that if a hacker can get into your PC and delete your PC, or delete files off of your PC, that is like an insane level of negligence that they're just ignoring. So yeah, I have, like, literally no sympathy for them in this circumstance.
company can't make the effort to go make those games secure for your users, but you have enough time as a company to send out cease and desists for the game developers that are doing it for you, and instead of trying to incorporate them into your system like the most successful games in the world, you're more invested into shutting them down to monopolize your product internally for yourself. And
I have nothing wrong. I see nothing wrong with that. If they want to shut down other competing things because they want to monopolize their product and everybody using their servers, I think that's totally fine. I think the reason why this is bad is because playing it on their official servers can put you massively at risk. That's what the issue is. And like the servers are simply a symptom of that problem. But that is the problem, not the servers.
Empower your community to give your users an actual quality experience from the games that they love? What kind of despicable, backwards business practices are the executives at Activision Blizzard doing? This, on top of the lies that you continuously spout to manipulate the marketplace, to buy your products, to make new games that are reskins of the old ones and charge enormous and egregious amounts of money on them, just to inevitably end up walking back a lot of those decisions like you ended up doing in Warzone. What is going through your head? And the answer is they just
nothing's going through their head, because this is a decision that was made by the legal team. It didn't really have anything to do probably with the developers of the game at all. It probably just had to do with a legal assessment that having the game out there in a way that's not owned by Blizzard puts Blizzard at risk. Like, that's literally it. I mean, the people that are making this decision are probably actually paid well because they're the legal team, and they're probably they're not really even Blizzard. This is like a legal team that's retained by Blizzard. At risk of what? There's a lot of IP law and things where you have to legally protect your copyright. And I think that's probably where they're coming from. And also, like, again, I think that you would probably, like, I think Bellior Gaming will probably have, like, a very good insight into this, because he had to deal with this exact same problem himself back in, like, Legion. But there is, like, a legal, like, I was going to go to law school. I didn't go, so I don't know the specifics, okay? So I can't tell you. But what I do understand is that there is a reason for it.
Don't care about their community. They don't care about building great games. The only thing that they see is dollar signs, and they don't care about whether or not their community is actually happy and thriving. And this, in my opinion, solidifies them as the single worst, most manipulative.
Somebody said in chat, and I actually wanted to read this, why isn't the legal team foreseen that this opens up Blizzard to gross negligence for failing to patch known cybersecurity risks in their supported products? Probably because there's no precedent that people have used that, like, the legal team has, that, like, for example, is there a legal precedent that shows that allowing somebody to play a peer-to-peer game, that, because peer-to-peer games make your IP vulnerable, for example, right? Is allowing somebody to play a game that shows somebody else's IP, is that gross negligence or not? And I bet it's there aren't any cases like that. So, like, Blizzard's legal team is basing their decisions, like, a lot of law is built off of precedent, which means that if it happened before, it can happen again. And it just hasn't happened before. So that's why they're not doing that, is because they don't think that they're liable for it, and they don't think that they'll get in trouble for it. That's what I think. Like, I don't know. I'm just guessing. That's what makes the most sense.
The evil company in the history of gaming. My guess is the reason why they're actually trying to do this is to just force people onto Modern Warfare 2, their new $70 Call of Duty that I made the mistake of pre-ordering, because it is just a downgrade from what MW 2019 was, which I think was the last good Call of Duty to come out. But now we're getting into
that was the Warzone one, right? Like, Warzone, the first Warzone was so good.
Subjective territory. But the reason why all of these titles are being shut down is because they are trying to force them onto the new product just so they can milk more and more money out of the community. But what's so ironic about
I
that
don't
is
think it has anything to do with that. I really don't. I think that this is just simply a legal thing and a decision that the legal firm decided needs to be made based off of some fucking legal precedent. Some intellectual property copyright law thing. That's what I bet it is.
So if you look at what the most successful games are doing in terms of Roblox and Fortnite and even Minecraft, these companies have found the way to actually enable their modding communities to make full-time livings out of modding their game and delivering on experiences that an individual studio cannot do. And
I think this is so great. Like, I'm such a huge fan of mods. Like, I think mods keep a lot of games alive. Like, for example, mods keep Dark Souls and From Software communities alive in between the releases. Like, every single time, like, for example, like, I'm now, like, I said this the other day, right? I don't know if I can show it again. But, like, for example, like, I have to open up my fucking thing. I downloaded the Convergence mod recently for Elden Ring, and I plan on playing that, right? Here it is. It's right here. And eventually I will play this game. And I'm excited now about playing Elden Ring again. And the reason why I'm excited about playing Elden Ring again is for a reason that has nothing to do with From Software. And that's why mods are so incredible, is that I came back to Dark Souls 3 like 4 or 5 times, and every single time I didn't play Dark Souls 3. I played a mod of Dark Souls 3, and I had a great time doing it. So I think mods are really great. I'm a huge fan of mods. I love mods.
The most successful games of all time, that's what they've been able to do. They allow modders and individual developers to come in and expand upon the foundation they built that attracted tens, maybe even hundreds of millions of players in the case of a game like Roblox and Minecraft and even
look at Arma, DayZ, right? Wasn't DayZ an Arma 3 mod? Like, I think that there are a lot of examples of mods that, I mean, like, look at fucking Dota. I mean, dude, look at Dota is a whole genre now. It's massive. Or was it Arma 2? I don't remember. I didn't play it, but I heard about Counter-Strike was a Half-Life mod. I didn't even know that either. Holy fuck, man.
Night to enjoy.
Yes, there's a lot of examples of mods being
what the original
huge.
Studio was able to deliver, because those studios have figured out how to empower their community and build off their amazing products in ways that they were never able to do, whilst rewarding these developers in a win-win-win scenario where the players get more content, developers can make a living off of their game, and the original studio not only makes more money but has a higher quality product because of that.
Well, yeah, I do think the mods increase the quality of the game in general. I mean, obviously, you do have problems with, like, you know, for example, World of Warcraft. I think mods in WoW, like add-ons in WoW, actively make the game worse. But that's because of, like, a very complex problem in the game that would take a long time to explain. But overall, I think that having mods in a game does enhance the game experience.
Activision Blizzard are so greedy that they can't even allow the people who made their original games that are still full price, playable, and safe to even launch and play multiplayer.
That's what the problem is right there. The fact that you can't play it unless you want to get your IP stolen or your PC hacked.
They can't even let those people succeed. But don't worry, guys.
Ridiculous.
The new Battle Pass in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, the new COD that we're selling every year, I'm pretty sure there was a promise that Modern Warfare 2 was going to last a couple years. Maybe that was a leak. If you could let me know down in the comments, I would very much so appreciate that, to make sure that I'm staying accurate and honest with you all. But this just goes to show you how despicable this company is. And this really leaves us with only one solution as consumers, and that's to stop buying their product. Listen, I'm all for capitalism. I think capitalism makes the industry more competitive and allows for more titles to come out.
I agree with them.
Over the player. But what Activision is doing is not capitalism, because they're not supplying.
Well, it is. It is capitalism, because you can choose not to play their games. It's a free market. And I think that's one of the greatest things that gaming has provided, is that it's a completely free market. You as a user are able to choose what game you want to play. Like, if you want to play New World, you can play New World. If you want to play World of Warcraft, you can play World of Warcraft. Games aren't being banned by the government. There's, like, things where Steam won't have a game on it or something like that. I'm sure there's, like, fringe examples. But for the most part, you can play whatever the fuck you want, and you can vote for the games that you love with your wallet in a meaningful way. And I think that is incredibly good. So if people don't like this, what they should do is they should stop consuming content and products from this company.
A new and better product. They're actually downsizing the product, marketing it as a new one. Oh, where would they done that? Oh, Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
And then failing to deliver on their promises to make the game's quality. Like, for example, my biggest gripe with Warzone, why would you ever take Rebirth Island out? That was the best BR experience I've ever played, and yet I can't play that map anywhere less than 2 years after it's come out because they force new maps and new products on everybody constantly instead of taking.
I feel like every BR does this. I don't think this is like a super strong point, but like it is disappointing whenever, for example, like you know, like Fortnite changes the map in a way that you don't like, or Apex changes the map. Like, yeah, I definitely get this. I mean, I think this is something that like is really between the developer and the player. It's not really that they're greedy. It's just they're trying to like. Verdansk, yeah, that was the original that was the original Warzone map, and I love that. I thought that map was incredible, by the way. That was such a good map. I wish that there was more like woodland area. I think the best ever map for any BR of all time is the original PUBG map. I think it's the best one. Verdansk is number 2. And number 3, if I had to say, probably would be like Season 4, Season 5 Fortnite. That might just be my nostalgia, though. Yeah, I would say somewhere there. The DayZ map? See, I never played DayZ. I can't speak to that.
What's originally built and allowing their community to expand on it. This is why they're the most evil company in modern day gaming, and to be frank with you, they shouldn't be allowed to exist in the way that they are now, because the consumer should start to boycott and look for other options that actually enable and empower their community rather than just continue to strengthen.
I would say that, like, in terms of should they be allowed to exist or not, I mean, I think that's up to the market to decide, right? If people are not happy with, like, Blizzard or whatever, well, they can just stop playing their game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's pretty easy.
Angle and chokehold them for money. So that's my Activision Blizzard rant. This is the new Activision Blizzard scandal coming out this week.
New release.
Again, it just shows their true nature. They don't care about you. They never will. They see you for your dollar signs. They don't see you as gamers who love the games that they used to put out, or even sometimes are still putting out now. They just want to enjoy the games for what they are and be a competitive player. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click on screen, check out my aim assist rant where I talk about my opinions on crossplay and whether or not it actually ended up working. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Much love. Peace out and stay away from Activision Blizzard.
I think this guy was really upset, man. Like, he was really fucking pissed. And, like, I can see why. Like, whenever Blizzard says, like, yeah, you can't play the game in a way that doesn't put your IP address at risk, I feel like, fuck, man. Like, I'll watch this. Not today, but I'll definitely watch this. I think this will be interesting to look at. I might watch that. No, it's a day ago. This seems like super controversial. Get a lot of people mad. Yeah, anyway. By the way, like, fun fact, I don't think aim assist is killing gaming. I think that, you know, crossplay against aim assist versus no aim assist is bad for matchmaking. I don't think that aim assist kills gameplay at all. It's everybody. If everybody has aim assist, nobody does. But anyway, the point is that, like, with Activision Blizzard, if you don't like this kind of stuff, I think that what this really shines a light on is the fact that Blizzard is not able to provide an experience for its users that is safe. And not being able to provide an experience that's safe for users to play their games is like it's a massive fucking L. Like, let's be real. This is absolutely a certified lizard situation. they should, I don't know. Like, I don't know the network architecture of why people are able to get hacked in this game. That's not my fucking job, but I think that if you bought the game, it should be somebody's fucking job to fix that. And apparently they're not doing it. So I think that's what the issue is. It's peer-to-peer networking. Well, I mean, I don't, and that's the thing, is like nobody's going to sue Blizzard for having peer-to-peer networking. But overall, War Thunder player boycott, I don't even know what that is. IP to IP. Yeah, I mean, mini games have peer-to-peer. Like, for example, Sons of the Forest has peer-to-peer, I believe. And peer-to-peer gaming only have a dedicated server. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine somebody, like, again, like saying that it's okay that like Blizzard shuts down stuff like this whenever the only option is to play with hackers that can get into your PC. I mean, it's just not a realistic option. And I think at that point, like, it's, in a way, it's even worse than providing no option. Because if you provide no option, then there's no way for you to get hacked. But in this, you actually do think you have an option, and it puts your entire account at risk. So yeah, it's really bad. The problem is if you allow this, you open the door for other people to use the IP and profit off of it. Activision could lose some control over it. They're legally allowed it. It depends on the judge. No, like, listen, American copyright is a fucking, like, there are people that go to school for like 8 years and they work in it for 20 years and they don't fully understand it. The American copyright system is fucking impenetrable. The only thing that's probably worse is the tax code. So yes, it's super complex. I don't know. I mean, is Blizzard a symptom of a problem here? Probably. But I think that there's still a problem because they're not able to provide a safe experience for the people that play their games. Copyrights you can enforce however you please. It's only trademarks that you can lose by not defending. I don't know what the specifics are, but I do know that Blizzard legal team probably knows them better than we do. And considering this isn't the first time they've done it, there's obviously like a mode of operation that they're basing this off of. So I'm just assuming that there's something else that I just don't know. But yeah, that's a decent video. I was glad that I watched that. I'm very glad I watched that.